If you were to ask me what my favorite game is right now, I don't know if I would immediately think of Power Wash Simulator. However, I do think that would be the right answer. It's weird because I don't really watch power washing videos, and I've never felt the urge to clean something that looks super dirty, yet I can't get enough of this game. There's something satisfying about cleaning every square inch of an object and hearing the classic ding when it's finished. I love looking for the tiny spots I've missed, or even having to climb up a vehicle just to get to a spot I haven't seen yet. But all this discussion makes me curious. What are the best Power Wash Sim jobs? What is the most satisfying to clean? And maybe even more interesting, what are the worst levels? What is actually an enjoyable experience? Well, that's what we're about to find out. Today I'll be ranking every Power Wash Simulator level, starting with the main story, moving to the bonus levels, and ending with the DLC packs. There's a total of 51 jobs, which is insane. Not only because that's a lot of levels, but because I now have 2 hour-long videos dedicating to ranking 51 of something. Weird, right? Insert Doofenshmirtz joke here. Anyways, here is every level we will rank today. The van, back garden, bungalow, playground, detached house, shoe house, vintage car, fire station, Grandpa Miller's car, skate park, fire truck, forest cottage, dirt bike, golf cart, motorbike and sidecar, SUV, penny farthing, recreation vehicle, fire helicopter, mayor's mansion, carousel, tree house, drill, temple, washroom, helter skelter, private jet, frolic boat, monster truck, Ferris wheel, subway platform, fortune teller's wagon, ancient statue, stunt plane, ancient monument, fishing boat, UFO, Lost City Palace, Mars rover, Gnome fountain, mini golf course, steam locomotive, Croft Manor, obstacle course and quad bike, jeep and motorboat, maze, treasure room, Hardy-Daytona and Shinra hauler, Scorpion Sentinel, Seventh Heaven, Mako energy exhibit, and Airbuster. Without further ado, let's see which levels are the most satisfying to clean, or which ones will make me angry and super mean. I'm super mean! I want to point out right away that I exclusively use the yellow nozzle to clean. I find it satisfying to use the same one and get the most out of my experience, rather than rushing a level with a strong spray or cleaning liquid. Now that I've explained that, let's talk about the van. It's really a great tutorial level. It's not too long, it's not overly complicated, and there are a few small sections like the lights as well as large sections like the sides and the roof. Still, I'm not a huge fan of the vehicle jobs, and I actually prefer more complicated items. But it does act as a really good starting point. I'm just going to put it in C. I want to do D, but there's literally nothing wrong with it, so I can't, okay? And done. House all cleaned. Now I can just relax and... oh no! The back garden is our first real level, but still acts as a tutorial. This one has way more varied sections to complete, which really keeps it interesting all the way through. You got rocks, wood, metal, even this little vehicle. We also have our first big area with the floor. I've always disliked floors and ceilings in this game, since they usually are just tedious and boring. Most levels now split up those parts in smaller sections, which I appreciate. You can write whatever you want on this stuff though, pretty cool. Plus you can section it yourself if you really want. Finally, we gotta mention the little cat here who launches off at the speed of sound. To conclude, there is great variety, a ton of satisfying things to clean, and one pretty classic level. It isn't one of my faves though, so it's going in A. Man, you clean this van once and this baby's clean forever. And never knew this one was called the Bungalow. This one is known for its giant white walls, back porch area, and of course who could forget the roof. One of the most daunting tasks in this game is cleaning this stupid roof. I can't take this anymore. Goodbye, cruel. What? The cat? A volcano? Oh no, I slipped. I didn't want to go yet. No. Oh. Whew, that was a close one. Well, back to work. This one is not a great level, but definitely makes sense to be your third job. I'm gonna say C for this one too. It's just kind of bland. You know what's not bland? Dinos. Too bad they're plastic, although a little birdie told me that the Tomb Raider DLC has a T-Rex, so stick around for that one. Anyways, the playground is definitely the most colorful level so far. It really just makes for the perfect level since every object feels really fun. Not to mention the fact that you can climb all over this thing. The floor is undoubtedly the most daunting task, but doing it section by section really helps the time go by. When I think about it, this is really what I want from a level in this game. Variety, fun items, and the ability to play after I'm done. Let's congratulate our first S, ladies and gentlemen. Oh look, another house. Specifically the detached house though. What's detached about it? So like I said, it's really just another house. Some of the details are different, but still mostly the same. Like another porch? Get a more original house, loser. You might as well live in a bungalow at this point. And gulp, not another roof. That's it, I can't take it anymore. I'm leaving. Are you serious? I can't leave? I would like to detach from this house right now, please. Fine, maybe if I just rank it, we can get past it. Ultimately, it's a little bit more interesting than the bungalow, but not different enough, so it also goes in C tier. See, this is how you make a unique house. And no back porch. Well done, my friends. It's funny to see the 6th level in the game be so unconventional, but that's really part of the reason why I love it so much. Who would have thunk I'd be sitting here cleaning some giant shoelaces and loving it? But did you have to go with yellow? You're pushing your luck, Scoob. I can't lie though, just look at that roof. So much more manageable. I think I'll still jump off of it for funsies though. The shoe house is just so fun, it's probably my favorite house to clean. I love that the soles are all dirty as if it were recently used or something. I really only find it annoying to clean the upper area, which I guess means the only part I don't like is the non-shoe part. So it gets a nice solid A tier. And done. The detached house is finally cleaned and oh come on, why does this keep happening to me? Well, thankfully this one's a pretty quick one to clean. I really don't have much to say about it either, despite it being the second vehicle so far. It's just another car, and you'll see as we go why I'm so sick of them. Despite different shapes, features, and even colors, the vehicles boil down to quick breathers in between the big ones. Still, it's entertaining enough to go right down the middle at B tier. The fire station is by far the most daunting task yet. Not only is there a pretty hefty main building to clean, but an entire tower behind that. It's virtually 2 jobs at once, so let's break it down a bit. We can start with the main station. There are some garage doors out front, a side wall of windows with a ledge in between, and then a back wall that's pretty empty. Moving to the roof, we are basically left with a giant floor to clean. And once that's done, you got another roof to clean. I know I went through those pretty quick, but ultimately they are very time consuming, monotonous, and really just generally uninteresting. Cleaning my 5th brick wall really bogs me down. The window section seems nice, but that ledge in the middle really makes it tough to clean without climbing up top and cleaning it there. I really hate being cramped and close to the wall in this game, so I really dislike this part. Well, now that that's clean, let's move to the tower. It's pretty tall, so cleaning the outside will take some time, but ultimately it's pretty quick and painless. However, there's an interior as well. We clean this area up. Hey, looks real nice. Let me just move up the stairs and... oh, it's exactly the same. Whoopee. Truthfully though, the tower is fine. I also just found it boring. And that's my best summary. Have fun cleaning this thing for a couple of hours while doing your best not to fall asleep. Which yes, if you're tired, a level like this certainly does. At this point, I think I've ranted long enough. You'd think a fire station would be the perfect level for this sort of game, when in actuality, it's a D tier. Okay, I know what you're thinking. My name is Jake Miller, this is Grandpa Miller's car. Clearly this is my grandfather we're talking about, right? Well yeah, you're right, Grampy Millmill is a character in this game, and he's a race car driver. That's right, my grandfather is L. Miller. Psst. Wanna know what the L stands for? It's Lucario. Frickin' sweet, right? I hope someday this car will be mine. So, just in case it is, we better clean it so it's ready for a test drive. And after saying all that nonsense, I can let you know this is another boring, uninteresting car to clean. I really like how it looks afterwards, but otherwise there's absolutely nothing interesting about it. There's nothing to hate though, so it gets a C. Thankfully, we have probably one of the coolest locations yet, the Skatepark. While yes, there's a lot of areas that are just blank stone, they spruce it up with some graffiti to clean. Plus you do a ton of parkour to reach every spot, which I always love. And there's a ton of variation in ramps, colorful unique spots like the watermelon pit, and a freaking loop-de-loop. It's a huge map that makes me sad once I finish it. It really is just the perfect, most fun thing to clean. I love trying to get the stupid soccer ball out of the watermelon. It's almost like a little mini game or something. I don't know, whatever, I love you Skatepark, and you're going in S tier. Well, we've done the fire station, now how about that truck? This makes way more sense for an enjoyable level to work on, not only comparing it to the station, but most vehicle jobs as well. A fire truck just has way more unique sections to clean than most four-wheeled vehicles, and has the bonus of being larger as well. That middle control section can be pretty rough to thoroughly clean, but it is pretty satisfying to finally get that ding! The ladder can be pretty annoying too, and because of that, it can't be S. However, I see this as a major improvement for the previously mentioned jobs, and I'm more than happy to give the fire truck an A tier. Sigh, if only we could see her take wing. The Forest Cottage is another fantasy-esque house with a very unique form. The roof is very tall and steep, which makes the cleaning process much different from the normal arches, which leads to the stylization of the entire house. Like, look at these windows. There isn't a single square, perfectly straight line anywhere on this house, and that alone makes it a unique cleaning experience. I feel like I'm power washing something straight out of Luigi's Mansion 3. Maybe the stone wall is annoying, but not that much. And yes, the roof can be a little annoying to traverse, but it's undoubtedly more enjoyable than the previous two houses. To get this video out quicker, I haven't been fully cleaning the bigger levels since I played them all multiple times already, but none so far have made me want to replay them more than this. I think it's a really forgotten level, to be honest with you. So, to help you all remember, I'm going to give it a bit more of a bump than it maybe deserves with an S tier ranking. Get ready for a little vehicle excursion, as the next 7 levels are all vehicles. The dirt bike is honestly a pretty fun one to speedrun, but 2-minute levels will never be S in my opinion. It's completely harmless, somewhat enjoyable, and going in B tier. The golf cart goes just as quick. It does offer the ability to clean inside the vehicle, which we haven't seen much of yet, but I just find the golf cart a little more boring than the other vehicles here, so I'm dropping it down to C. Looking for some variety? Well, we know you already cleaned a dirt bike, so how about a motorbike instead? And just for you, here's a sidecar. Go nuts. I do really prefer this one over the dirt bike. This one just looks cooler and nothing will ever quite be shaped like that sidecar. Still, it isn't that much better than the other vehicles here, so it also goes in B. Wow, an SUV? How original. Instead of watching this boring cleaning job, let me teach you what SUV stands for. I bet you don't know. The V is obvious, it's vehicle. U is understandable, but not like that it stands for understandable, it's just utility. But the S? It's actually sport. Can you believe that? Sport utility vehicle. Now that's going to be on the test at the end, so don't forget. And it looks like we finished cleaning the sport utility vehicle, so now we can dump it in D tier. Honestly, I'm considering putting the penny farthing as the only S tier vehicle just for the meme. Originally, it's a struggle to hit all the rest with your smallest nozzle, but with the best power washer, this level gets decimated. I think the penny farthing is a fun concept, but my integrity is telling me this has got to go in C. If we're all being honest with ourselves, the recreation vehicle is what your mom gives you when she says, "We have the fire truck at home." It has less interesting features than the fire truck does, and doesn't look all that incredible once it's been cleaned. This was another level that featured the rust mechanic pretty heavily, but again, with the best gun, it goes pretty quick. I don't hate this one, it just feels super boring. Gotta give it a B. Wait a second, we get to see her take wing? Not only is this the last vehicle in our 7 vehicle streak, not only is it our first air vehicle, but it's our biggest vehicle so far. I'm also pretty sure it's the last fire themed job, so say goodbye to the red and yellow color scheme. Sadly, I feel like this is the most frustrating vehicle so far. Trying to climb around it is very awkward, the long rotors are super boring and tedious, and the long schlong it drags along the floor as it moves is just weird and dumb. I'm not even going to give it the satisfaction of cleaning it fully. Let's put it in D and finally move on to something that isn't a vehicle. The Mayor's Mansion job is probably the strangest level in the game. It's a tutorial for the extra long extension, allowing you to clean things super far away from you. However, instead of cleaning a whole mansion and a gate, you're cleaning small blemishes on each. Now don't get me wrong, I would absolutely lose my mind if I had to clean the entire surface of the mansion or the gate. They are both frustrating enough as it is, and I honestly am thankful it is simplified down. Regardless, I feel as though this goes against the very nature of what I know Power Wash Simulator to be. I understand it's unrealistic for these objects to be covered completely in crap. I don't care! This level breaks the principles of this game, and for that reason alone, it is a solid D tier. I'm sorry if you like the carousel, or just like carousels in general, but it's just the worst to clean. 1/8 of this thing is unique, and the rest is just cleaning more of the same. In concept, this level sounds amazing, but fighting to stay awake during this one is a real challenge. What's worse is the thing actually spins if you press the button, which is all fine and good. Except, there are specific parts of this thing that are hidden because the horses move up and down, so you actually have to turn it on and clean. I like using the spinning feature to stand in place and clean a surface, but I do not like having to search for the one pole I'm missing that has a hidden dirty spot. I love the idea of cleaning these circus levels, but I'm sorry to say that this is another D tier. Don't even get me started on the treehouse. It has its fun parts, no doubt, but I definitely remember this one as a low point in the game. This map is crazy huge, I get lost just trying to traverse it sometimes. Stairs can be a real hassle, not to mention the bottom side of the deck. It's just perfectly far enough away to be frustrating. And yeah, I know there are extensions, I'm too stubborn, okay? I'll give you an extension, come here. I'll give you an extension, come here, you like that? No, you think so? This is again one that sounds like an amazing concept. I take one look at this and say, wow, that's awesome. But when you're actually stuck trying to clean it, you start to feel more and more miserable as you go. I would not be surprised if a lot of people couldn't make it past this one, honestly. I commend it for its idea, I appreciate such a huge level, but I really dislike most of the sections here. It's gotta keep our streak of Ds going. While yes, my prejudice against vehicle jobs is ever growing, I will always appreciate the unique ones like this drill. Now obviously, it's nothing more than a glorified thick pencil, but it's definitely unique, and there are tons of gadgets along each side that make it more interesting than that. Finding the little edges you missed on the main drill and the treads can be a little annoying, but ultimately I find myself enjoying this level just fine. It doesn't stand out in any other way besides getting to jump into the ceiling, so I'll just say B tier. I really do not enjoy the temple. I feel like I've been so negative for the past like 10 jobs, and I wish it wasn't the case, but for real this is one of my least favorites. And no, it's not because I'm an atheist or I hate monks or something, now you're just grasping at straws. I definitely prefer monkeys over monks, but I don't think there's a controversial take or anything. The temple's just cringe, okay? These roofs, cringe. All 8 buttresses, cringe. The sleek doors and windows, actually those are poggers. This gnome, cringe! What, where did he go? I am actually so scared right now. Somebody find me a monkey to comfort me. In the meantime, we'll just put this cringe level in D tier. Oh boy, I do not want to know what happened in there. Washroom totally makes sense as something that needs to be cleaned, though I don't know how many power washers are looking for janitorial jobs. Either way, while there are a lot of repeated sections and open walls, none are too long to be annoying. The toilets seem like a rough spot, but they're actually super fun little rooms. Looks like we got some urinals to add to our urinal ranking video as well. I'd love to bathe myself in one of these bad boys. And just like that, we're done. I'm really happy to have such an enjoyable level after all that. Wait a second. Why does it say I'm only at 50%? Maybe I just missed a little spot. Who the actual freak thought it was a good idea to select an entire washroom and copy and paste it? You cannot be telling me that there's an entire, exactly the same room that I'm being forced to clean. I was really enjoying myself, but doing it twice is really stupid. If I'm being honest, every other level in D is only there due to personal preference. I still understand why those jobs are the way they are and respect others' decisions to love them, but I cannot stand by and respect the laziness and tediousness of this ridiculousness. Absolute D tier. Well, we're back to the circus. Let's hope there have been some improvements since last time. The Helter Skelter is this huge tower with a swirling slide all the way down it. While going down the slide can be fun and all, the real excitement is nosediving out the top without clipping the slide. Now that's a carnival ride. Now in the past I've hated towers and circus levels, but this one has some charm to it, and the tower walls are super sectioned up and easy to break down. The only frustrating parts are the sections that get covered by the slide, and you have to climb around it to clean it. Plus those damn lights, which were on the carousel too, but I just had enough to complain about that I figured I'd wait. In the end though, it's the best tower this game pulled off despite its flaws. We've worked our way up to a B tier, let's see if we can keep this up. What is with the air vehicles all having schlongs? Anyways, good to clean that first. The private jet is a little bit more than just that. I can't remember the lore, but based on the various gadgets like the anti-gravity boosters or the ray gun schlong, I guess it might be a super spice plane or something. If I'm being honest with you, I think planes are the most interesting kind of vehicle to clean. There isn't a ton of repetition, the final result is really sleek and cool, and there aren't very many you get to do in this game. I'm kinda surprised like a passenger plane ever became a level, but that's besides the point. This is one of the more enjoyable and cool looking vehicles in the game, and I'm giving it an A tier. Moving from the sky to the sea, we got the Frolic boat. It kinda seems small at first, but you'd be surprised at how long this one will take you. This small interior section is really not all that small, and once you finish that, the entire sides of the boat and the canopy need to be done too. The sides are really the part that will bring this one down for me. There's no good way to clean them from the bottom, and on the ledge you're really close and cramped along that wall. There's just no great way to get a good angle at it. I love that cat though, and there are barely any boats in this game, so it's fun in that way. I'm gonna say B tier. Psst, guys! I have a really big secret that I figured we could talk about while I clean the monster truck. Let's just say I originally miscounted. There's actually 52 jobs in this game, not 51. I know, such a weird clickbait to purposely leave it as a smaller number than it is in reality. I just love that Pop Chopka in this game had 51 things to rank. It was a fun coincidence. So that's it. I'm sorry to lie to you all, but I thought it'd be really cool. That's all. With that out of the way, let's talk about the monster truck. It's more of a cat truck in my opinion. I'm not really sure the monster part came from. Let's get the annoying things out of the way, which is definitely those tires. I can circle one of these things 5 times and still be missing just a little bit of dirt. Other than that though, I love it. The cat makes for a fun thing to clean. The undercarriage, which I typically hate, is really enjoyable with a lot of intricate spaces to clean, and the end result is really fun. Seeing as this is the last land vehicle of the main story, and I'm feeling sentimental, I'm gonna break the vehicle curse and put the monster truck in S tier! I'm cleaning, what? I gotta get off this thing! The Ferris wheel is another one of those levels that sounds like, oh man, I can't wait to clean a Ferris wheel, that sounds super fun. And then you're sitting there cleaning your 6th pod thinking, kill me now. I like aspects of the wheel. I enjoy climbing all over it and constantly falling off, no matter how frustrating that is. But otherwise I get sick of it really fast. I might want to do the treehouse again before doing this one, honestly. I think I'll just clean this generator over here real quick and call it a day. Now that's what I call a job well done. Well, except this job. This job I would call a D tier. The whole joke of the washroom section was I cleaned one half of the level before realizing there was more. I refuse to do that here though, because the subway station is massive and has the exact same problem as the washroom. This level is actually hours of your life wasted because it is mostly uninteresting. There are so many blank walls, long sections of railroad, and don't get me started on that ceiling. Don't get me wrong, the first time I played this I loved it. I love this game and long grueling levels are awesome. The first time. Looking at this now generally makes me sick to my stomach. I know D tier is getting bloated at this point, but I have to be honest with you guys and myself and stick it in there too. This carnival level is kind of a mix between a vehicle and a house. The fortune teller's wagon was the first level in the final arc of the story, as you can see with the erupting volcano back there. I can almost reach it. But this was a cute little level that has a lot of really enjoyable parts. One of the most satisfying things to clean in this whole game might be these fortune cards. And while the underside and canopy are a little annoying, they go pretty quick and you're immediately on to the next part of the job. It's a really nice breather before some of those crazy ones we're about to see in a second. So give it an A and let's move on. Alright, just arrived at the next job site. Let's see what... Oh my god, it's a person. Let's see, let me just get these spots for you. And done. He looks better than ever, honestly. Cleaning this thing can be summarized in just one word. Awkward. You're never able to get the angle you want to have while cleaning him. I really appreciate the structure built around him, but it's too far away because you need to be able to walk around him on the ground. And cleaning his head is not simple, but it is funny to make him look like he sloppily ate some blueberry pie or something. Look at me, I'm cleaning his little crotchular area. And speaking of, his whole body is made up of these sections, which again I really appreciate, but the cracks between them always have a tiny little spot to miss and makes the whole process sort of frustrating. I don't want this one in D, but it's gotta be C. Well, I really enjoyed the private jet, so how about that stunt plane? Immediately, the 4 wings seemed like a bit much. I thought 2 would be plenty, so I don't much care for that. And check it out, I wasn't kidding about this schlong thing. Every plane, man. You'd think I hated the propeller blades, but there's only 3, so it's fine. And I realized that there were some spots of dirt that were caked on there. For the first time in this video, I had to work a bit harder on these spots. I realized how much I actually enjoyed the extra challenge, so it was sad that I played through everything else with the best power washer. Oh well. I really think there's something to this plane levels. I love this one too. Gotta be A tier. I feel like the natural progression should have been hand, then actual man, but that's fine. This is just a giant hand, with more annoying cracks in the sections than the guy did. The inside of the hand wins the award for the most frustrating part of a level in this whole game. I hate it so much. It's so cramped and difficult to fully clean, just the worst. The only good thing about this hand is the excellent canvas space. I had fun just writing on it. Hold on, that gives me an idea for that other guy. There we go, I like that. Oh, also the hand gets D tier. By far, the biggest vehicle is none other than the fishing boat. Not only is there a whole deck to clean, but the entire bottom of the boat as well. I'd say the deck is the most enjoyable aspect, and even cleaning it now is pretty fun. But man, that underside is really rough. It took me a whole minute just to clean this rudder. I'd say maybe half of this one is enjoyable, so with that in mind, let's go with B. Just to be clear, this one is represented in-game as the recreation vehicle again, when in reality it is the UFO. I'll be referring to it as such just so it isn't too confusing. I remember being pleasantly surprised to see the UFO, but ultimately really disliking it, even on my first playthrough. Playing it now, it's really not that bad. I can't say it's nothing more than a glorified boat, especially with the parts underneath, but it has its moments, and that dome on the top is really cool. Imagine spraying it and seeing a little gray alien in there, I'd love that. I love the concept of cleaning a UFO a lot, especially considering it's the only sci-fi based job before the Final Fantasy DLC. It just isn't all that great after that initial excitement though. And no schlong on an air vehicle? Disgraceful. B tier. This is it, the conclusion to the main story. Would you look at that, all my friends are here to help me. Couldn't have done it without you. And I'm sure you all would have guessed that this is the biggest level by far. It took me multiple days to complete this level, where every other job completed in a single sitting. If I had to guess, I'd say 8 to 10 hours of my life were sunk into cleaning this thing. And yes, I mean this 100%, it is completely worth it. Maybe not a second time, but definitely once. It's a huge pyramid with 2 floors filled with little cool things to explore. I love the Power Washer statue here, but the best part of this level has got to be the hieroglyphics depicting every level we've done in an ancient 2D form. They are super creative. Like, look at the cat monster truck. Someone worked real hard drawing all these, and they are so fun. I love just uncovering them and reflecting back on our journey. That's about all I'm going to clean right now though. I'm not about to make a dent in this thing anytime soon. Plus I shouldn't spoil it all, you gotta clean this thing for yourself. It looks awesome in the end. I'm so happy we end the story with an S tier level. How wonderful. But we're not done yet! The next 4 levels are all considered to be bonus levels. I know the other 3 were community voted levels, which we are supposed to get more of soon, but I'm not sure about the Rover. It already existed when I first started playing the game. It's pretty fun, there are a lot of small parts that get cleaned really quick, and it's always fun to have low gravity jumping capabilities. Honestly, one of the best vehicles they ever made. Maybe not perfect, but it's up there. It's also funny that they put this hatch over to the side to suggest there are aliens here, which we now know from the UFO that that's true. Plus a little green gnome there, which you thought was funny, but you're really pushing your luck, Scoob. Either way, this one's solid, A tier. And then we had the gnome fountain, a level that has no business being this massive, especially considering how tedious it is. The only fun part is cleaning the gnomes, and then you're just left with slabs of stone to clean. Then they actually forced me to change my nozzle? Oh boy, am I writing an angry letter to Square Enix. Anyways, I hate this one, D tier. I love this one though! To be fair, pretty much anything mini golf themed I love. Every single hole is unique, and that is so amazing. A literal freaking dragon is yours to clean. That is so epic, dude. Ends with a freaking Disney castle, classic. My only complaint is the barren walls, honestly. Those rocks can get pretty boring. But without a doubt, this is my favorite level in the game. They even added the ability to play golf since I cleaned this one, which only makes this one that much better. I'm in love, ooh la la. Put it in S and let's get out of here, just you and me. Just like that, we're about to conclude the bonus job section with the steam locomotive. I know some people are absolutely obsessed with trains like this, so it was probably a dream come true for a lot of fans. Me? I'm more of a fan of these tumbleweeds, to be honest with you. I've also played like 20 of the past levels back to back, so forgive me if I'm running out of steam. Out of steam. Anyways, it's a harmless, unique level that stands out for not already appearing in the main story. I'm just gonna go with B, sorry to all you train lovers out there. The Croft Manor is the first job of the DLC packs. So far they've been completely Square Enix based, and I'm pretty curious to see what future packs might be based on. Marvel's Avengers would make for some fun levels, just imagine cleaning Iron Man's suit or something. Anyways, we start with the exterior of this mansion, as well as a little fountain off to the side. I'm not the biggest fan of the exterior maps, especially ones that are super tall. I just kinda thought it was super tedious with nothing that interesting to clean. I do like the old-timey doors and windows, but once those are cleaned, I still get a whole mansion wall to finish. I know there are better levels to come, so I don't mind sticking this one in D tier. Next up, we had a really cool concept. I love trying to climb everything myself rather than placing a ladder down, so why not have an entire obstacle course to run through? Legitimately, it's a ton of fun actually just running the full course. Sadly, the zipline at the end doesn't actually work, so definitely upset about that. But the structures are so varied despite being made out of wood blocks. Each spot is unique, which makes it feel fun all the way through. Oh yeah, and there's a quad bike. I don't really know why, it doesn't fit the theme here, and I cleaned it all in like 10 seconds. Anyways, this was a genius idea, so I feel like it's gotta be S. It's nice to get one land and one water vehicle side by side here. The Jeep is fine. After cleaning so many four-wheel cars, it doesn't really matter what type of vehicle I'm dealing with. I remember the first time I played, I didn't realize the car doors could open, so that was mind-blowing to accidentally press F on them. I enjoyed the boat a bit more, mostly because there aren't too many boats in this game. They're both really standard though. I enjoyed having two, but otherwise it was just one of the most straightforward jobs in a while. That's a B tier. Again, this is such an amazing idea. We're stuck in the hedge maze and we have to find and clean every landmark here. Thankfully, the whole maze isn't dirty, or else this would be a long, tedious level. Other than the few small spots to clean, the main goal is to find this hidden trap door. At first when I went underground, I was kinda spooked. Had I reached the catacombs? Was there an evil vampire waiting to jump out at me? Bleh, bleh, bleh. Well, no, there's just really nothing down here. Up the ladder though is a cool little gnome shrine and a big section to clean. I like that. Ultimately it was another really fun idea, but not as well executed as the obstacle course. I'll say A tier. Wanna clean a T-Rex? Good, cause her treasure room is filled with cool little items with essential T-Rex statue. The room itself has pretty unique shape, which helps it stand out from the other rooms in the game. I still love the interiors despite how tedious they can be, and I'm even willing to look past the frustrating ceiling. Don't forget about that dinosaur. The wooden surfaces have a really cozy feel, and did I mention there's a freaking dinosaur? This mini museum is a pretty awesome conclusion to the Tomb Raider pack, and it's honestly exactly what I hoped for when it was announced. I'll gladly put a T-Rex in S tier. Alright, we have the first of the newest pack of levels in the game. It's called the Midgar pack, and if you're like me, you had to look up what that location was to know it was from Final Fantasy. I have no interest in the source material, so hopefully the jobs will still be enjoyable to complete. The first level consists of two vehicles called the Hardy-Daytona and the Shinra Hauler. They are both unique takes on the vehicles we've had in the past, and I found the bike to be pretty fun to clean. I wasn't blown away by the truck though, it was just kinda fine. I found it weird that there were a couple of cars in this room that didn't need to be cleaned. I would have probably enjoyed the level more if it was 4 different vehicles rather than 2. But that crazy moment when you clean the bike spikes makes me like this one enough to put it in B tier. Wow, that was a tongue twister. For some reason, the scorpion level actually made me nauseous. Maybe the gross green texture or the repetitive nature of the legs have something to do with it, or the cramped space in between the legs and the upper body. Either way, I didn't find a ton of enjoyment from this one. I noticed that the Sentinel was on and looking at me the whole time. That was cute and I liked it. I also enjoyed cleaning the tail. It's a pretty unique experience and wasn't cramped at all. Even being able to move the arms is a unique and fun aspect I didn't initially expect, and its design and colors were pretty fun too, but its repetitive nature and tight spaces were rough, not to mention I couldn't easily climb this thing like I would have wanted to, so I will say C tier. It's a really funny concept that some goons got mad and covered every square inch of this bar in food. Anyways, I hadn't realized it before, but a bar is a pretty perfect location for this game. The main reason is that it's an interior location with tons of unique items, such as the arcade machines, jukebox, kitchen area, Gatling gun, and welcome sign. All normal bar items. And the Keyblade? Oh wait, that's Kingdom Shards, my bad. I'm sorry, but eggs and chips? Are you Final Fantasy people okay? There's so much variation in each corner of the level that it really doesn't get stale all the way through. I really appreciated how the walls and floors were separated, allowing me to finish it section by section. I enjoyed seeing each little item I uncovered, and in the end I was left with a cozy little bar. I really love this one, and I think it deserves an S ranking. Ever wanted to clean all of Midgar? Well, you can now King Kong around the map and clean every sector. The main event is obviously the central towers of the Shinra building. I feel like Final Fantasy VII players would love a level like this. I know if I had the option to clean a miniature version of a world from a game that I loved, I'd be stoked. In terms of this map though, I'm a bit unsure of how enjoyable it is. Other than the central tower, which honestly was a lot of fun with all those piping sections, the sectors are pretty flat and similar looking. The whole exhibit just feels like a mini version of the Gnome fountain from before, especially with the outer rim it has. So while the idea makes a ton of sense, I just didn't find enough variety to enjoy it. Thankfully it's a pretty short one. I'm gonna say B tier. Wow, this is the last power wash job, for now. And it's sadly another robot like the Scorpion Sentinel from before. Thankfully I enjoyed this one a bit more. Like, look at these fingies. They're cute and I like them. There are a ton more movable parts now, and it's a lot less cramped, even if there are a few tight squeezes in the even if there are a few tight squeezes here and there. It just feels a bit lackluster as an ending to the Final Fantasy DLC pack. I don't know what I expected. I guess rinsing out Sephiroth's rock hard abs could have been fun. I just think they ended the Tomb Raider pack really nicely, and it's sad to end on a boring job. Still, it's a B. What a fine way to end the list. Well, after 52 levels, what have I learned? The first thing I learned is that no matter how many things I clean in this game, it's never going to be a chore. I have to imagine a ton of people look at this game and think to themselves, why would I want to clean something for fun? If I wanted to do that, I'd just diarrhea dump all over the bathroom IRL. And while I will admit diarrhea dumping all over the bathroom IRL is pretty entertaining, I argue that Power Wash Simulator is more entertaining. What? I hear you saying, what could possibly be more fun than diarrhea dumping all over the bathroom IRL? And then I say, check this shit out, but instead of referring to the actual shit all over my IRL bathroom, I point at the mini golf level as I clean a dragon. The enjoyment people get from Power Wash Simulator can be compared to finishing a color by number coloring book, building a Lego set, doing a diamond art painting. These are all mindless acts that you simply do to relax, turn your brain off, and get satisfied. I love doing all those things, by the way, and I'm guessing if you're still here, you might enjoy those things too. Working on something for a long time you enjoy doing is awesome. I'd even compare editing an hour-long video like this together has that same feeling. It can be monotonous, it can take forever, it may not even feel worth it in the end, but it isn't ever really about the final result. I don't care what the golf course looks like after I clean it, or the cottage, or the playground. It doesn't matter one bit. What matters is the process, seeing it to completion, and breathing a sigh of relief as your meter hits 100%. I love this game, and I love you guys. I got no clue if people are going to want to see a video like this. I'm the first to do it, that's for sure. And hey, there's confirmed more levels being added at some point, so let me know if I should make little mini ranking videos on those too. As always, these long videos are the hardest ones to make, but the most satisfying to see in a finished form, just like Power Wash Simulator. Anyways, that's all I got. The Popchopka vid I recorded in 2 separate sittings, but me, a completely sane person, thought it made sense to record this all at once. I am no longer sane, I'll tell you that. By the way, who here remembers what SUV stands for? I told you it would be on the quiz! You idiot, it was stuck on V's, go tell your friends. Okay, enough said, bye bye, I love you, go play Power Wash Sim, it's better than bacon pies on a Tuesday. See, I told you I'm crazy now, okay, bye bye now. Specifically the detached house, though. Specifically the dedicated wham. The Ferris wheel is another one of those levels that sounds like, oh man, I can't wait to clean a Ferris wheel, that sounds super fun. And then you're sitting there cleaning your 6 pod thinking, kill me now.